Good Monday morning, everyone. It is Monday, December 30th, 2024, and we are almost into the new year of 2025 as January is getting ready to begin after tomorrow. So that is quite exciting for you all as it is almost the new year. And in today's forecast, we are going to be going over what we can expect for the next few weeks as we will be tracking a major pattern change that could definitely bring us a lot of snowfall, a lot of ice, and even a lot of Arctic blasts, which do appear likely as we get into January, as January sure is known for its cold and snowy conditions. So make sure to stay tuned till the end so that you guys know what to expect, as we will be going over a lot of things in today's video. And make sure to subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate you all getting me up there towards 900 subscribers. That is much appreciated. But if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe, as we will keep you guys updated with the latest. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up as well. This helps out more than you know. And of course, leave any questions, comments, or concerns that you guys have down below. Feel free to leave anything down below, and I'll get to those right after today's weather forecast. But let's first start off by talking about this concerning storm, which is pretty much going to be this potential major ice storm by the time we get into January 6th, which will be the beginning of next week, where we will be tracking that potential for a pretty big ice storm there across parts of the Midwest and as well as into the Ohio Valley, as a lot of ice and even some heavy snowfall on the northern side of that system does appear likely, while on the southern side of that system, maybe some rain, maybe even a few rumbles of thunder, especially if that warm air does continue. So we'll definitely need to watch this storm very closely as we get into the beginning of next week, especially as it continues to even move eastward, as this storm will continue to bring freezing rain and even some sleet potential across the mid-Atlantic as we get more into the later part of Monday, which, like I said, will be the beginning of next week. So like I said, we will need to watch this very closely, as places anywhere from Missouri all the way back over there into the mid-Atlantic will likely be at risk for ice, freezing rain, and like I said, even some heavy snowfall, especially farther north you go. So we'll definitely continue to watch this system very closely as it rolls on through. Things are still going to obviously remain uncertain about the system, but like I said, though, it's definitely something to really watch for as we are heading about a week out from now. So that obviously doesn't mean it's very uncertain, but it does mean it's uncertain. So obviously things could still change. And if we look at how much rain, freezing rainfall we can expect over the next week, especially as we get into the beginning of next week, and as you guys can see from now all the way to Tuesday at the beginning of next week on January 7th, we are going to be watching that ice storm at the beginning of next week, like I said, as we could be seeing places like parts there, Missouri, maybe seeing anywhere from a tenth to a quarter inch of freezing rain in parts of that state. We might even need to watch central and southern Illinois, as some areas might get anywhere from a quarter to up there towards a half an inch of freezing rain. We also do need to watch Indiana, as some areas could see anywhere from a tenth of an inch to even up there towards a quarter inch. We also do need to watch those areas in Kentucky, especially closer to Cincinnati, for anywhere from a quarter inch to possibly up there towards a half an inch of freezing rain at the beginning of next week. And then as you get closer into the mid-Atlantic, we might need to watch the mid-Atlantic a little bit more, as some areas might get closer to a half an inch of freezing rain. So definitely something to watch for as we get into the beginning of next week. Now, like I said, things are obviously looking to change a lot, as things could still be on the changing side of things, especially because we are still heading about a week out from now. But we'll definitely keep an eye on it closely, as even the European model even agrees on how much freezing rain we'll see as we get into the beginning of next week. But like I said, though, things are still looking to change, though, as I actually do think the European model is being a little bit on the bullish side of things, especially because it's showing Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and even parts there, Kentucky, all getting over an inch of freezing rain. So obviously not looking likely as of right now that we'll get that bad of an ice storm, but like I said, we will definitely continue to watch it, and things are obviously looking to change a lot, if why not completely. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we will continue to keep you updated with the latest. And if we look at those ice storm hazards, and this is what we were also talking about in the last video, so if you haven't gotten an idea what on how much ice does, this is your hazards depending on how much ice you'll see. And like I said, it's going to be uncertain on how exactly that ice storm occurs, but if we were to see that, if you got anywhere, let's say you got anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 inch of rain, what that would do is that would limit unnecessarily travel. Any untreated paved surfaces will likely be glazed with ice, and scattered power outages also will appear more possible. So we definitely got to watch for that closely if this storm were to happen. And of course, we could even see some areas possibly getting up there to 1/2 an inch of freezing rain, like what I pointed out when we were looking at that a second ago. And what that does is that we could see more widespread power outages, down trees, extremely dangerous to walk or drive on treated paved surfaces that will likely be covered in ice. So definitely something to really watch for, like I said, but we are still heading far enough out to where I do expect a lot of things to still change with this model. And like I said, make sure to subscribe, as we will keep you updated with the latest. And after that, we will be watching for a huge polar vortex event to unfold as we head more into the middle of January, especially around the January 10th time frame. But this is going to be a long-lasting polar vortex event, potentially, like I said, even as we get into the middle of January, as the latest from the GFS model is showing a huge area of cold air. We could be seeing negatives as far down south as Alabama. Look at that, Alabama seeing those negatives. Look at that, even parts there, they'll have Valley getting into the negatives. We are even seeing Iowa getting into the negatives. Same with Minnesota, the Dakotas, into even Nebraska, Kansas. So make sure to be keeping an eye on this, my friends. If you live farther south, you probably won't experience the worst out of it, but gosh, the least I can say is that almost all of the eastern United States is at least going to be somewhat frigid during that time frame. So make sure you are getting your winter gear out, so that way you guys can stay warmed and bundled up by the time we get closer into the middle of January, as a huge Arctic blast, if why not a polar vortex, will likely unfold. So make sure you are keeping an eye on that very closely. And here's another reason why we are concerned about that, and that's because the latest from the Climate Prediction Center is pointing out below average temperatures across much of the eastern United States by the time we head into the first week of January. Now, that probably won't be the polar vortex event, but we sure will need to watch those shots of cold air rolling on through during that time frame. So definitely something to watch for. And since we'll be seeing cooler than normal temperatures, we might even need to watch for above normal snowfall across a lot of this area too as well. So definitely make sure you guys are being on high alert a lot across the east, as a lot of below average temperatures and as well as above average snowfall does appear possible. And that's one of the reasons why we are concerned about that ice storm, and as well as that snowfall potential during the first week of January, and as well as into the second week. And then as we get a little bit closer into the middle of January, we actually see those chances for below average temperatures start to increase, and that's mainly because almost all the models are showing well below average temperatures as we get closer into the middle of January. Now, does that mean this will happen? Well, I do think it is pretty likely that we will see at least some shot of cold air during that time frame, but exactly how intense it will be and how exactly it will occur is still going to remain uncertain, as things could still shift around a little bit. But we will definitely definitely watch much of the east closely, as well below average temperatures does appear likely. And of course, for precipitation, maybe a little bit less active as we get closer to the middle of January, but I definitely still think we will need to watch for some snowstorms during that time frame. So definitely make sure to get all your winter gear out so that way you are ready. And if we also look at our hazards outlooks from the Climate Prediction Center, this is a little bit different than what we took a look at a second ago, but as you guys can see, the Climate Prediction Center is forecasting well below average temperatures across both of these areas, and it's saying there's only a slight chance, so that doesn't mean there's a guarantee that this will happen, but like I said, I think confidence is growing quite a bit that we will see somewhat a cold shot by the time we get from January 4th all the way closer to the middle of January, so definitely something to really keep an eye on, as temperatures could definitely be on the frigid side of things. And then what about snowfall? I think snowfall is a little bit on the tricky side of things because we still don't know exactly how everything is going to play out with the snowfall, but what we can tell you guys is that we will definitely have that potential for snowstorms across much of this purple area. Now, like I said, where exactly they occur and all that stuff is still going to remain uncertain, but it's definitely something to really watch for as the Rocky Mountains, back into the Central Plains, into the Midwest, Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, and even the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast are all going to be areas to really keep an eye on, as we could be seeing that potential for some snowstorms. But like I said, it's obviously not a guarantee, as the Climate Prediction Center is only forecasting a slight chance, which isn't a high chance, but definitely a possible chance, so we'll definitely watch it. And then after that, just another heads up would be maybe another potential snowstorm along the East Coast by the time we get closer into the middle of January, and that could definitely become a nor'easter. Now, like I said, things are far enough out to where we could see things change completely, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on closely, as like I said, a lot of snowstorms are definitely appearing likely throughout January, but like I said, where exactly they occur, how tense they will be, and all that stuff is still going to remain uncertain, so obviously take that with a grain of salt, but we'll definitely keep you guys updated with the latest, so make sure to subscribe to the channel so that way you guys don't miss out. And then the final things we're going to take a look at is your total rain, and as well as your total snowfall. Starting off with your total rainfall, we are expecting there to be a lot of rainfall across much of the east, especially down there in Florida. The farther north you go, the more likely this rainfall is considered snow, but I think the area that we're especially going to need to watch for is the northwest, as those areas are actually looking to see more in the way of above normal temperatures, especially because that line of the cold air will pretty much be right here, where we're going to see that cold air in the east with above normal temperatures more out here toward the west, so we'll definitely be tracking a little bit more in the way of rainfall out here to the west, especially in the lower elevation, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that closely. And then for your total snowfall, definitely looking a little bit different than what it looked like last time, but definitely still looking like something to keep an eye on, as well above normal snowfall is definitely appearing possible across some of these areas. Now, like I said, it's obviously something to take with a grain of salt across the East Coast, as even down there towards Alabama doesn't really look like it's gonna see a snowstorm just yet, because I mean, like I said, that seems to be pretty bullish, and we're heading far enough out to where things will likely change a lot, if why not completely. But like I said, we will keep you updated with the latest, so make sure to subscribe to the channel so that way you guys don't miss out on that. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed today's weather forecast. I appreciate you all getting me up there towards 900 subscribers. That is much appreciated, but if you guys would continue subscribing to the channel, that could definitely even be more appreciated, as our next goal is going to be to reach 1,000 subscribers before spring. So consider subscribing to the channel, as we will keep you updated with the latest. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up as well. This helps out more than you know. And of course, leave any questions, comments, or concerns that you guys have down below. Feel free to leave anything down below, and I will get to those in just a second. And I hope you guys all have a great New Year's Eve tomorrow, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.